have here?
Oh, boy.
We're still in Miami. We're goddamn Cooligans. You know exactly who we are. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, the sex appeal has just gone
really,
through the roof.
Just really taking attention away from us, I think.
You know, I hope.
I'm caught in the middle.
Yeah, I hope all the ladies, you know, just change their underwear because Jimmy took his sunglasses off and staring right up. Look at the chiseled jaw.
What's up, ladies?
If you're looking for a vegetarian that travels a lot and stays up late.
Yeah.
Oh.
By the way, happily married man. Everyone, let's get out of that. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys know him. You love both of them. We got Jimmy Conrad and Mike LaBelle together at the same time for the first time, for the only time here on the Cooligans. Fellas, what are we doing? We're all in Miami to do what now?
We are here for the U.S. final for the Neymar Jrs Five tournament. It's an awesome tournament, by the way. I played in it this year in Kansas City in the regional. I won't tell you what happened, but I had a great time, met a lot of interesting people.
Let's just say he's here as a host.
I am. And Mike LaBelle was here last year in the U.S. final and crashed out. But tell us about that, Mike.
How'd that go?
Wow.
Yeah, can you relive that moment?
Talk about that.
So, Jimmy, what are you doing? Real quick, I want to burn Mike.
It's called deflecting. I'm deflecting.
That's the last time you talk about my work ethic and staying up late.
He got back at you.
Throwing shots at me for being a vegetarian.
Damn right, I'm a vegetarian. I like pizza.
Hell yeah. All right, now we're talking business.
Yeah, I know.
We're in the pizza business. So, well, you guys are kind of we're all kind of like doing something here, but everything.
Yeah, and just in case people do not know, Mike LaBelle, he is the eMLS player for the New York Red Bulls.
Yeah.
Jimmy Conrad. I mean, what was that noise?
Your favorite former
U.S. men's national team player. I was gonna say.
You never said that before, huh?
Nope, never once.
I don't know. You guys might have never heard this before, but somebody here scored a header against Mexico.
That's what's up. Hey, give it up. That's what. Hey, thanks, dude. Thanks.
I used to give you some dap for that.
It was good. It was good.
It was good.
I didn't even have to jump. That's the best part.
That's a big moment.
It's a
Major
big moment. Yeah.
So, Mike, tell everybody what you're doing here specifically, because you're an eMLS player, but you're not out here playing FIFA and stuff.
Right. So Jimmy and I are both hosting the event.
Very cool.
So you're going to hear our voice during the live stream where we have the finals for women and the finals for men. And this is the first year that they have the women's division, which is pretty exciting.
Very
to see it
exciting.
Expand.
It's about time.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Time's up.
Sure. Yeah, and there's a lot of stoppage time, so it's going on. The game's going on pretty long, so that's important.
Wait, where can they find that? Facebook.com/Red Bull. That's where the live stream is,
I don't
right?
know where
Yeah,
they're doing
I think that is.
I think they're doing it on mine.
Oh, on yours.
Yeah, but I don't know that. Like,
Must be nice, Mike LaBelle.
Yeah.
It's on the Red Bull Facebook Live.
That would make sense. And I'm probably cross-posting.
That's fine. Yeah.
I think we all agree to cross.
Just come hang out with us.
We're
Come
all
comment.
cross-posting this on Facebook.
That's right.
If you don't go to Red Bull, we will have it on one of our Facebooks
Exactly.
or all of our Facebooks.
I might even be cross-posting this on like a pizza shop's Facebook. You never know.
So
never know.
both of you guys have been on the show. Mike, you were on the show recently. We played FIFA. We talked to you about your eMLS career and how that began and everything. Jimmy's been on the show before. Jimmy it's been about a year and a half. You were on the Cooligans before we would be invited.
You were the gulliest.
That's how I met these guys. Was at your going away party. He had a remember you had a going away.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
When you moved from New York
That's right.
back to San Fran.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Back to Cali.
That's right. Thanks for coming to that. Appreciate it.
Well, yeah, that was a lot of fun.
And our relationship was born, and now I had two more people that make fun of me all the time.
It's just so easy.
Thank you for
And
that
plus,
introduction, Jimmy.
You know, the one party that everyone's going to show up to if Jimmy is involved is where he's going to finally go away. So, see, we can do it to both.
Yeah, they go to confirm that he's leaving.
I don't believe what you're saying, but that's
no,
fine.
and I didn't
Keep
mean
going.
it either. I was just trying to help Mike.
Yeah.
Before we turned the cameras on, the first thing they told me was, "You look really hot." He's like uncomfortable. What have you been doing? That was the compliment. That was the.
Oh, they're talking. I looked really hot.
No,
yeah.
we're like Jimmy.
No, not that kind of.
No,
hot.
Jimmy, you killing it right now.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
No,
Yeah.
you do.
Mike,
you look uncomfortable.
Maybe go look in the mirror. or something.
Where's the mirror?
Mike,
I need to
Get
check myself out.
yourself right, Mike.
Yeah.
Like you got some swamp butt right now.
We all do.
Hey, we all do.
I hope that's not the case.
I hope everyone has some man ponds in.
So, Jimmy, what's been
I'm
going?
on the lookout for hand sanitizer.
Jimmy, what's been going on since the last time
One
you were on the
person
show?
trying to keep this
I'm
interview.
trying to, I'm trying to be somewhat professional.
He's trying to transition this.
So
Yes.
cute that he's trying to be professional.
I mean, we could just direct
He
direct
looks
all our
hot.
attention.
Look at that. Zoom in.
I'm
He
very
looks
hot
hot.
because I'm
no.
I'm the only one working.
Oh no, he's stressed. That's not warm.
Okay, can this be the shit on Mike LaBelle show? No, yes, it can, but we don't want that.
You know how many
You sure?
viewers we
I
just
can't-
got? You know how many viewers? Somebody just started that Twitter.
That's
Jimmy.
actually what's going down
Shit
tomorrow.
on
That's
Mike
gonna be a
LaBelle.
live broadcast of Jimmy shitting on me.
Yeah.
So
That would be
Jimmy,
great.
since the last time you were
That
on
would
the
be
show,
soft
Yes.
because he's a vegetarian.
shut up and let me ask Jimmy a question.
I've been making internet for the last year and a half.
Yes, but you moved from New York.
I did.
You moved to the Bay Area, and now you're popping up more than ever, even than when you lived in New York. So you're doing stuff for AT&T. You're traveling the world. You're hosting events with Mike at FIFA tournaments. So
eMLS or like PAX East.
I do PAX East.
Jimmy's at everything.
I'm like the Ryan
Being
Seacrest
sports.
of
Yeah.
EA's global FIFA 18 events.
man.
That's the best way to describe it. I do weekly show, Man on the Street for being the street. Or I say be in the street. Let me start that over. Everybody listening? Yeah, cool. Can we
don't
cut?
edit.
I know you don't. That's the best part. Okay, so I do a weekly Man on the Street for Being Sports,
That's
which is a
dope.
lot of fun, and probably pop up there on your internets doing
Okay.
that. Got my own YouTube channel, doing all that stuff
Yeah.
still, and
Let me put you on blast right here. 'Cause you said a couple videos ago on your YouTube, you were starting a podcast. Where is it?
Good question.
Where
Yeah,
is it?
but then I started watching you guys for the first time, and and I was like, oh man, these guys are really good.
We're
Maybe I
too
shouldn't
good.
even enter into this space.
This guy should have been running for office. He's good.
No, I think that's
Welcome.
Roger Bennett, but that's a different story. Anyway, so I'll say that. Hey, I'm a good friend of the pod. It's fine.
Right.
I'm gonna say that.
We're good enemies of the pod.
Woo!
Yeah.
We've
Now
gone
it's
through
hot.
one
Now it's
question.
hot. Okay.
Yeah.
So probably before the next European season starts.
Dope.
Yeah.
All right.
What's it going to be called?
Finish the conversation.
Very nice.
Wow,
Okay.
which is what Christian's trying to do right now.
Yeah.
Where I started.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It'll be not as long or good as these guys.
It would never be called Finish Your Chances because Jimmy never did that. Oh,
It's
yes.
something against Mexico. Come on, what are you talking about?
He did
just
get one
high-fived me
against-
for the goal against
He got
Mexico.
that one, and he's leaning hard on it.
What?
That joint should be made of steel, my
What?
guy.
Jimmy
It's
has-
splintering.
Jimmy has more own goals than actual goals.
That's not true.
I think that is true.
We can look up that.
Give me
the
the
stats.
numbers. You know.
I scored 20 goals in MLS.
Oh,
and
never
had
mind.
10
I didn't think
assists
you
and
had
had
that
like
many. All right.
3 own goals.
That's not bad.
I didn't realize you had 20
The
goals.
best part of that is that he knew all of those stats.
20 goals, 10
Yeah,
assists.
you
Respect.
can't. Don't take that away from him.
Have you ever seen the Jimmy Conrad cards? They always get like the
Oh, we got
funniest
some.
face.
We have some
I
on
did, I
our
sent it to
wall.
you. Yeah.
And I was like, dude, we have him on our wall. I'm like, yo, this guy, they couldn't take one good photo of you?
Nah, it
If
doesn't
you guys
exist.
haven't seen these, I hope there's a graphic you can throw on screen. Every one of them is like one eye open, one eye's closed,
Yeah.
going for a header, and they just cut that face out and put it on a
Or
card.
What do
it's
you
like
mean? I don't know what you're talking
It's
about.
like the face of someone who just got kicked in the groin from behind and didn't know. It's like,
No, I look like Robin Williams is Popeye. You know all those faces?
Okay,
very much so.
Maybe you guys have seen that. Maybe you grew up with that.
Yeah,
we're comedians. We have to watch everything.
Sure.
It's kind of a law.
Yeah, sure.
Good morning,
Maybe,
Vietnam.
maybe not
We saw
Patch
that too.
Adams, though. Patch Adams, little trick.
And that poetic something society. I'm not watching.
Oh, that one's good, though.
Yeah, it's sappy.
Captain
Oh, no,
O'Captain.
that's a great.
I ain't trying
That's
to
really
cry,
good.
my guy.
It's a great
Trust
movie.
me.
Emotions are not for Alexis.
No, we don't have emotions in Newark, New Jersey, baby, where I was born and raised. You ain't allowed to be. You
Nope.
soft.
Mike LaBelle.
Yes, talk to
Let's
me.
move on to Mike.
Yes, you recently were at PAX East playing in the eMLS Cup.
Playing is strong, but go ahead.
Okay.
He tried to compete. And he,
the blank stare is
I'm
the
sure-
best.
Let him
Remember Mike LaBelle thing was when he did our show, he wrecked us 3-1, right? But when we scored that one, you would have thought we won Champions League. And he was like, wait, no, come on. And we're like,
That was the shared clip.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
them scoring. So you wouldn't even know what happened if you don't watch the whole
No,
video.
we have it up that you're winning. We
You're
have it up
winning.
that you're
It's there,
winning.
It's clear, but we were very proud of
You
ourselves.
were competing at PAX East.
Competed at PAX East. How did this was the first tournament for MLS players? I mean, I'm sure you got to meet a lot of the other eMLS players. What was that experience like in playing and just being a part of that, the growth of the video game side of soccer in America?
That was a major first step for us in terms of building out this. I guess I don't know how you describe the eMLS with MLS because they have like a really nice like center. Oh.
Just on mic is probably the easiest way to explain it.
If you can't hear me, you can't hear me. No, it was good. It was the first step where we've seen gaming integrated into sport in the proper way, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think the MLS is doing it better, and I don't want to cause any problems here, but I think they're doing better than some of the other different sports in terms of integrating the gamers and activating them and being involved with the clubs.
Okay, and
Jimmy was there shirtless. If you guys, you
Well, I
remember
did.
for
It was the final. I was streaking.
It's
fine.
we were selling you, really sexy Jimmy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hardworking,
That's it.
shirtless.
Buddy, we got to
Shirtless.
get them views.
I would
Like
say,
stuff.
though, with regard to eMLS, now, if you people are unfamiliar with how it works in the game format in FIFA, it's like FIFA Ultimate Team, so it's the best of the best players.
Yes.
But for eMLS, You have to have 3 MLS guys
on the squad
in your team.
Yeah.
Now, for me, for it to take to the next level, I feel like you have to play with the guys that are on the team.
We had to use 2 from the club
your
that
club,
you represent.
right.
So that's pretty major
It's good.
change to playing in the
It
tournament.
would just
when
be
you had
kind of
access
cool to
anyone.
see them actually have to break down using the real guys that play on the team.
Yes, yeah.
So you'd have to use,
Like, you
Tyler
mean-
Adams. Not that he wouldn't use him, but
like the
when
full
you have-
11.
Right. and,
Yeah.
I mean, if you have a choice of using Kaku or Messi, you're probably going to use Messi. With all due respect to Kaku, but it would be really cool to see these guys who know the game so intricately to have to use these players and learn how to have success, just like Jesse Marsh would have to do with the Red Bulls.
Right, and also
It's the
just
same
like develop sort of like a game plan around those specific players, like by playing with them and practicing over and over.
And I think you actually get real supporters. I say real is kind of strong, but supporters of New York Red Bulls maybe being more interested in the esports because the real players are being used.
Right. Yeah.
As opposed to like, well, it's a little bit harder for me to engage because I'm watching Messi and Ronaldo in the New York Red Bulls kit, which is cool. It's kind of cool to see those guys in the kit. But
it does
I
sound
feel like
weird to be like, Pogba passes to Tyler Adams.
Yeah, like you want.
I'm sorry, what just happened?
Well, I mean, it's kind of that's what's cool about Ultimate Team is like the Dream 11, right? But I think for it to really take that next step, you can speak to it. Having the real players, I think, would make a big difference in terms of like having it really bridge the gap between having your supporters come out and support both things.
So you just talked about, I'm going to play devil's advocate. So you just talked about how Ultimate Team is about having variety and customization. So if it was the entire starting 11 from the New York Red Bulls, then you would lose that customization.
Right,
like every club
no,
only
that's
gonna
fair.
have
That's
access.
fair.
On another side note, I'm definitely positive that New York is red this year. Right? What are you saying, guys?
That's without a doubt.
All right, so he got one back.
Not even going to fight about it. Yeah.
Actually, I believe he's got 2 back.
Well, it's because Patrick Vieira's leaving, right? To go to Nice.
He could care less about these games, apparently.
It's clear. It's clear.
Well, Jesse Mark's going to be in Leipzig. So
and they're like, Patrick, what are we doing? In his head, he's like, Champs-Élysées. There's a loose Rottweiler. Welcome to Miami.
Oh my goodness, you can see the size of this dog.
It legit is the size of a small car.
He should definitely be on a leash.
Yeah.
Like,
he should be in a cage, never mind.
are we in a bad neighborhood?
Of course
Why
we
is
are.
he allowed to do that?
This is Wynwood. 7 years ago, this is where you went to buy crack. Now this is where you buy bad art made by someone who smokes crack.
This is the most intimidating dog I've seen in 5 years.
Mike, what were the results?
He's so good. Isn't he good?
What were
for 2 hours a day, like every Tuesday on the show.
Talk to me.
How did you feel about the competition at the you played in the tournament?
Yep.
I know you got to the knockout round.
Yep. I went to the playoffs.
Yeah.
I lost 1-0 to Toronto for the people that didn't see it.
Okay.
In extra time.
Was that the result in the playoff last year against the Red Bulls? Was it 1-0? Was that the aggregate score?
They were up 1 on aggregate, but it wasn't 1-0.
Oh, okay.
I think MLS is red, right? Toronto SC red? Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Not this season, though. Let's be
Kansas
honest.
City be doing, buddy?
I think top of the Western Conference.
the top of the Western Conference.
No, but last year.
He's like, no, I mean when they lost.
We haven't got to the playoffs and everything.
It's all right.
Yet, so
Yeah.
Kansas City's actually won.
I can't wait for the playoffs because that's when BWP stops scoring. Is in the
the
playoffs.
viral video celebrating.
How'd you feel about the competition
They
at
have
the
the
tournament?
worst chant in MLS. Throwing that out there to believe we will win. Joe.
Answer Christian's question, or he's
Yeah.
going to be upset.
How'd you feel about the competition at the
I
tournament?
thought it was great. I think that we're really on the come up right now in terms of North American esports within the FIFA esports initiative.
Okay.
And the more tournaments we have, because I'm expecting the eMLS to be multiple events in the future as opposed to one event.
Yeah.
And the more events, more practice, and you get to learn how it is playing in person. So when you go to the major finals, you travel well, basically. And that's what we've seen. Germans and French players have been doing amazing when they go to events because they have more practice.
I'm going to jump in here and say that we were in Amsterdam for the global finals for the FIFA 18 console for the FIFA 18 game.
Waiting to jump
And I was. And
Tap me on my shoulder.
a couple of the eMLS guys got into this tournament.
Yeah.
But only one. SKC Alexander, Sporting Kansas City Alexander, is in London for the first FIFA E World Cup.
Just when we thought you were going to be meaningful to Mike.
I was. But no,
look,
Alexander, though.
No.
Shout out.
I know.
But
Yeah,
this is
congrats
a
to him.
come up.
I'm only upset because Jimmy didn't like my fire back or whatever.
Yeah, I just
coming
went up and over
at
the
your
top.
club. Yeah, you just gotta go.
Let's
back
talk
up.
about this.
I went
Questions
up
for
to
both of you independently.
Okay.
Where do you see both eMLS and esports in the next 5 years? Because 5 years ago, I was shocked to see that people were showing up to watch other people play video games, and now they're filling out stadiums. So where do you guys think it can go, or it should go, or it will go in 5 years?
Go first.
I'm gonna go with 3 years, and in 3 years it's gonna be
Not the question, but I'll let it go.
Okay. We're improvising.
Yeah.
in 3 years, it'll be a career, I think, for every player that's a part of the MLS.
All right.
In terms of having a union and actually building it out to be a sport. I know some of you guys don't believe in esports being a sport. Don't hate.
Or some people don't believe in unions.
No,
there's both of those.
Yeah.
But I'm going to support you here. I think esports is a sport. I think the amount of time and effort that these guys put into their craft is insane.
Yeah.
And more than any time that I did as a professional. Like, you know, I'd go out there, and obviously there's a physical component that's a little bit different, but mentally those guys have to be incredibly drained, putting 8 to 10 to 12 hours in every day. Right? It's
Here's what I'm going to say.
It's a skill. There's so much.
It's a skill. I don't know if it's a sport. I mean, other people
you
practice.
guys are against it, right?
No, we're not against it at all.
I'm not
No, we
against
love
it.
it. Here's my thing.
Against it being a sport.
No, I don't. I just the moniker that it's a sport. If you practice, it's difficult, and it's an event, and it's a performance, and it should be watched, and it should be followed. I just don't think it's a sport per se. Just like driving a car in a circle isn't a sport. No, for me,
I agree with you. Yes. Right, golf, skill game, baseball.
Those are skill games.
Skill game.
Yeah.
There's some athleticism in it, but if you can be like as fat as some of those guys.
All right. I was just about to say it's a great sport because you can be fat. And Jimmy was like, I mean, God forbid do that. I can't call what you do a sport. But chefs work really hard, and they do the same thing, and they compete.
Cooking sport.
Yeah, they compete, but it's not a sport per se.
Yeah, okay.
It's a competition. And eMLS is something that I haven't seen the Premier League do this. I haven't seen other leagues do this, where they've really sort of unified some of the great, not only content creators like you, but also people that are heavily skilled like yourself, and made it into something that you can go now watch. You can go to these events and sort of start to follow players, not just on social media, but like as a fan. That's absolutely incredible. So, while, maybe I don't consider it a sport per se, it definitely belongs in that world.
I think initially we were both like skeptical about like how the entertainment value of watching people play. But I gotta be honest, I watched the eMLS Cup and I watched the event at PAX East, and I'm starting to watch more. And the entertainment value that I'm also seeing is the amazing top level rage quits. And you had a thing recently where you were calling one of the games, and like a prominent player rage quit. When it didn't even seem necessary. I don't think he was even losing by much, but he was just frustrated. But seeing how good people are and compete against the best and still get so furious, so public, you see how passionate they are about the game.
And I want to stress with the MLS, this is the first that we've seen that balance of being able to produce content online, but also in person as a spectator sport or as a spectator event. We've never really seen that with FIFA.
Really?
Like if you see the event in Amsterdam that we were just at, it's basically a live broadcast.
Yeah.
But it's not really something that you're going to necessarily want to be in-house for.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a live broadcast, a live production. Whereas if you saw the eMLS, it was packed out. We got people making noise. People were cheering. People were walking through. It has that atmosphere. Yeah. And that's one of the first steps to building an actual sport to me.
I learned of it from the E-World Cup.
Yeah.
And with that, I forget what it was. It must be now 4 years ago. The French dude wins in like the last second, and he's celebrating, and the camera pans to follow him celebrating, and the place is filled with fans. And that's that moment where I'm like, oh, I've been thinking of this wrong the whole time. I think it's like 6 guys that look like me in their mom's basement, you know, just Dorito dust all over their lips, and then like yelling at each other over like a headset. And I was way wrong. Like, these are people that are heavily skilled at what they do, and they should be followed. I think it's going to absolutely be dope.
I think to add another layer to this is that from an entertainment perspective, you have an opportunity, especially MLS in particular, to maybe get, or using this as a vehicle, get some trash talk in, because I feel like
we
sometimes
the same on this.
It's so, I don't know, cookie cutter sometimes. Yeah. We don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, or the league doesn't want anything to happen. Yeah.
So everybody listening,
everybody gets apple slice or whatever.
Be as mean as we are to Mike LaBelle, to each other, and also to Mike LaBelle.
Yeah.
But imagine if you had your esports players. What if your esports players, though, could go, you know, we know this guy, Kid Mamita, who won eMLS Cup, and he's fantastic. But if, you know, he comes out and says, dude, this guy sucks, I don't want any part of him, like, it still doesn't feel like you can actually physically hurt that person later, right, that you could on the field. So I feel like there's a really good opportunity to create some more animosity. So
rivalries.
I put a lot of pressure on you right now.
And us three are from the same era, so we grew up. See what I did there?
Yeah.
And then just wanted to make sure you knew.
Oh, I thought you were talking about us three. That's
us three are from the same era, so I grew up playing video games where you had that atmosphere with somebody sitting next to you, or even when I first started going to tournaments, a lot of times we shared a screen while we played FIFA, and like the crowd was just behind you, and they were talking, and they'd go back and forth, and they were part of the matches, and I'd love to see that introduced at some capacity into FIFA esports, and that's what we're seeing now. Where you talk about cookie cutter, it is a production.
Yeah.
And it's how do you balance a production that's professional and a crowd that you don't know what the hell they're gonna do?
Sure.
I think there's a need for unpredictability, right?
Yeah.
And I think that our league misses that a bit. I think we need to promote villains, frankly. We need to create a WWE environment.
The Cooligans are very unpredictable.
We are fully on board.
I think you guys should
people
be at
talking
events.
shit.
Yes,
I'm
team you guys.
I will say this, Mike.
Everything feels packaged.
Mike has been pushing for Cooligans to be involved in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he's very
because
supportive.
I think you see there's a somewhat of a benefit to what you're talking about, which is like they ask us to do events sometimes. They're like, all right, well, if someone loses, don't be too mean. And it's like, that's what the fans are thinking. Like, oh, you trash, dog, get off the thing. Like, we're not maybe go that far, but like, there's a degree of fun to if you fucked up, you fucked up. You know what I mean? And if you didn't, you didn't.
And it's like what Christian said. He remembers the rage quit that happened live.
That was
a little bit of drama.
Yeah.
And that got shared on so many different platforms.
Also, is that guy okay?
We need more of that.
I'm worried
if
about
y'all
it.
were at an event, we would have like 5 to 6 at least viral clips of people having bad reactions.
Yeah,
because they're like came off the stage pissed. Yeah. And you're like, yo, you just need like a slice of pizza. Whatever you're gonna tell a guy. You know, like I can see you like you don't look happy right now. You look uncomfortable. Just like when I walk.
Yeah, we'll be on the sidelines. We'll be color commentary on the sidelines.
I would love to watch that.
Yeah.
So I think there's a huge conversation to be had about that.
Sure.
And actually, as soon as
we saw at halftime, you were picking your nose. Can you tell us what you were digging for? You know, I can just see y'all making them so mad. But it would be good for the culture on the competitive side. In my opinion.
There's a perfect place to end it. Is props to us. So thank you so much, you guys. I know you guys are super busy. We're super busy. Thank you so much for being a part of our show.
We're gonna be talking to Jimmy on the speaker series. You guys are all right here in Miami, so
Mike will be there as well.
That'll be my turn to interview them.
That'll be quite exciting. All right, guys. Jimmy Conrad, Mike LaBelle. Make sure you follow them at Jimmy Conrad, at Mike LaBelle, Instagram, everywhere, dude. It's Twitter.
You guys know what's up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.